Welcome to the Fox 54 Week in Review. I'm Kenesha Dees. Here's a rewind of the past 7 days in local headlines. Thinking of the animals, some advocacy groups feel more should be done to protect pets and have asked Huntsville city leaders to join them in their crusades. The rodeo, it's a real bucking trend, especially when thousands of dollars in cash is on the line. You're getting a ringside seat to a rodeo tournament. And this week, it was Sam Shade's time to shine. He takes over the reins of the Alabama A&M football program. Our sports team was there as he got a warm welcome on a particularly cold week in the Tennessee Valley. The big local story is a week spent preparing for a winter storm. January 10th was declared a Fox 54 Weather Impact Day because of the potential for snow accumulations and the development of dangerously icy conditions on the roads, causing all of the Tennessee Valley to get into preparation mode. And it is feeling like winter here in the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures dropped over the weekend and they'll stay low for the rest of the week. But winter weather in Alabama can cause disasters when people aren't prepared. Our Caleb Aguayo talked with several local agencies to figure out how to stay safe in these frigid temperatures.
The cold weather finally made its way to North Alabama, and it is frigid. High winds, low temps, and even a light flurry of snow here and there. I spoke with Gary Whitley from Huntsville Utilities, who told me all about what they're doing to get ready for this week's winter weather.
Each and every day, the men and women that work at Huntsville Utilities work to ensure the operational safety and security of not only our electric grid, but all of our utility services that we provide.
In case you forgot, the electricity rate has gone up in the new year. Whitley adds a best practice to keep it warm enough in your home while keeping your electric bill down.
The weather has the biggest impact on your utility bill. So the best you can do is to please ensure that you keep those thermostats set at 68 for optimum energy efficiency during the winter heating season.
But if it's still too cold, Huntsville Fire and Rescue's Jerry Tanner says to be careful with any space heaters you might bring home.
Don't leave them running indefinitely. At the end of the evening, when you're about to go to bed, go through the house if you have them in multiple places and turn them off. The second bigger issue is don't have anything combustible too close. I would say anything closer than 24 to 36 inches in front of a space heater has a potentiality to combust.
And outside your home, the Huntsville Police Department says to be cautious on the roadways. But even more than that, don't ignore the barricades they've set up.
If you see barricades up on the roadway, there's a reason that they're there. It means that the roadways are in a dangerous condition for people to drive on. And please don't drive around those barricades. It happens every time.
The potential for winter weather is high for the rest of the week. Until then, stay warm and stay safe. In Huntsville, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
If you were here last year, you may remember these sights of snow and icy roads. Not fun. Huntsville-Madison County Emergency Management Agency held a briefing earlier this afternoon about what they're doing to help keep their residents ready for anything. Officials are prioritizing preparation ahead of the incoming winter weather, especially on the roadways.
What we recommend is being prepared to be on your own for 72 hours, which in this case, with the weather coming in, should be more than adequate.
We'll also be out with Public Works Division helping them treat the roadways, be sure that they're safe while they're doing that. And we'll be doing our best to monitor the roadway conditions and communicating with them whenever we notice any dangerous conditions to get them out there to treat the roadways.
We retrofitted 10 of our existing crew cab trucks with plows and bed-mounted spreaders. So we have a total of 15 vehicles that's going to be distributed throughout the city of Huntsville, ready to respond, like I said, working with other first responders to treat the roads as needed.
Huntsville officials say if you find yourself slipping on an icy road, to not come to a complete stop in the middle of the lane. You're asked to try and get to the side of the road instead and contact services for assistance. Folks with the Tennessee Valley authorities say they're ready to face the cold to keep your heat on this year. If you remember, back in December of 2022, the TVA had rolling blackouts because they couldn't operate some of their power generating equipment in the freezing temperatures. But last year, they invested about $430 million into protecting the machinery in cold weather across all its locations. Our Caleb Aguayo went out to one TVA power plant in Tuscumbia to show us how they prepared.
With winter weather here in North Alabama, I headed over to the TVA's Colbert combustion plant to learn more about how they're keeping the heat on. This is just one of their power plants in North Alabama alone, but in total, they operate across 7 states and service over 10 million people in the Southeast. And just in Alabama, the TVA serves over 1 million people through 25 local power companies. They do this through baseline energy sources like nuclear power and coal, but they also generate extra power through natural gas, like the turbines in the Colbert combustion plant. To get it all ready here in the Shoals, plant manager Mark Rutland says they wrap their gear in heated sleeves called heat tracers and met throughout the year to add in extra protection.
Winter preparation for TVA is a year-round job. We've been preparing for winter weather in the Tennessee Valley actually since March of last year. We have regular meetings, either monthly or quarterly, where we have challenge sessions, tabletop exercises, and we talk about the lessons learned and we create corrective actions. There's always something new we can learn each time this type of weather comes our way.
When winter weather does become severe, freezing temps could knock out the power grid. The Colbert plant's equipment is designed to withstand temperatures as low as -5 degrees. Because keeping the electricity on is so crucial to the Tennessee Valley, the TVA is monitored by the government to help ensure the power won't be cut off.
You don't want that to impact hospitals, schools, nursing homes. We're held accountable now federally to meet certain guidelines for winter weather preparedness because of the criticality it is to the infrastructure of the Tennessee Valley.
But TVA spokesperson Clarissa McLean says she believes the federal corporation is up to the task because of the prep that's gone into it this year.
Mother Nature is unpredictable. No one's in charge of the weather, but what we are in control of is our preparation, the investments that we've made, the training for our employees, and that's something that TVA has continuously done over the last couple of years. And so we feel like our efforts to prepare for winter weather, that it's been significant and it's been consistent since then. And so we've done as much as we can to be ready for whatever Mother Nature throws our way.
The winter season brings more demand for TVA energy than any other time of the year. They hit an all-time peak around this time last year, and the demand is only expected to grow with hundreds of thousands of newcomers to the Tennessee Valley. In Tuscumbia, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
A task for many residents this week is simply staying warm. However, the methods many tend to use to keep warm can be unsafe and can lead to the unimaginable. Decatur Fire and Rescue says methods like using a stove or oven to heat the home are never recommended and should only be used for its intended purpose. And if you're using pluggable devices such as space heaters, make sure they're plugged in properly.
The one crucial thing that we tend to see a lot of is using improper methods of heating. So maybe plugging in multiple heating equipment to a single outlet, or using power cords, things like that they're not intended to be used for, or using pieces of heating equipment that aren't designed to be used indoors as well. So always make sure that what you're using to heat your home with is intended to be used indoors.
DFR also sharing it's important to make sure your home has a working smoke detector. If you're in need of a new smoke detector, they offer a free program for residents. Details can be found on our website. While many students and employees will get to enjoy the winter weather this Friday, the potential ice and snow won't stop essential workplaces like Huntsville Hospital. It's critical, especially in the face of severe weather, that emergency medical care services remain fully operational. We spoke to President and Chief Operating Officer Tracy Doty about how they're prepared ahead of the winter storm.
So we're making accommodations for our staff to stay downtown. Knowing we run a hospital, so 24/7, 365, no matter what the weather looks like. So we've made accommodations in one of our buildings for staff to sleep and shower and spend the night there. We'll have nice accommodations for them, but some are staying in local hotels downtown.
And in the event of icy roads this Friday, local group Rocket City Wranglers will provide free transportation for essential healthcare employees to and from work. If you need a ride, fill out a request form, which can be found on our website. Do note that these rides are exclusively only for essential healthcare workers, and filling out a request form does not guarantee a ride. To protect your people, stay well informed, gather those groceries, have a backup heat source, and check on your neighbors, especially those elderly loved ones. Keep the furry loved ones in mind too. It's going to be too cold to have your pets outside. Bring them in and make sure they have plenty of food and water. We spoke to Huntsville Animal Services Director John Fisher on why it's important to keep the pets inside.
Bring your pets inside, get a crate, get an airline crate, put them in a room, something at least through this brief period. If you can't do that, remember that city ordinances require that shelter have 4 walls, a roof, and a floor. Use straw versus hay or blankets. Straw will stay dry and the other items will retain moisture. It's important that shelter should remain above 40 degrees.
From people to pets to pipes, you'll want to protect the pipes in your home. Make sure to let those faucets drip this weekend and open the cabinet doors below the sink. We spoke with officials at Decatur Utilities for advice on how to keep pipes safe.
It's just a good time to kind of look through those precautions. Number one, for pipes freezing, and number two, for energy efficiency. As far as pipes go, we certainly don't want folks having issues with frozen pipes. So we just encourage them to make sure all their foundation vents are closed. That keeps the cold air from collecting up under the house where it can, be more of an effect on those pipes.
We saw a viral claim online that you can protect your outdoor spigot faucets by using these styrofoam cups. But is that claim actually true or not? Let's find out.
The styrofoam cup acts as an insulator. It traps a pocket of air on the inside, and then the styrofoam itself acts as a windbreaker to keep circulation of cold air and wind off the pipe. It is real to a degree. This would not be good for somewhere that sees negative temperatures for months on end. This is definitely a southern thing due to the weather. A styrofoam cup, stick, pen, pencil, rubber band, or a string. You're going to take your styrofoam cup, poke a hole in it, feed a rubber band or a string, attach it to the faucet, tighten it up, secure it, try to get all the air gaps out, and that's pretty much it. This is meant for in a pinch to get you by mild winter conditions.
Scott says other methods of protecting your spigot include obtaining a frost-free faucet to cut the water off behind it or install a shutoff for the spigot. With your Verify, Gabe Glassman, Fox 54 News.
It started very few people at first, 7 or 8 Jeeps out on the road. We give 50, 100 rides throughout an entire event.
But ever since the Rocket City Wranglers started providing free rides to essential healthcare workers 8 years ago, demand has only risen.
Last year we had almost 2,000 rides. For tomorrow we have 800.
It's a feel-good moment for drivers to provide a way to get to work for those who need it most.
They're out there risking their lives every day for us, 365 days of the year. And this is only happening once, twice a year, so we decided the best way we could give back is make sure they don't get in trouble or lose their job because they can't get there.
And it puts their off-road cars to good use.
We got 150 volunteers that can help us at any time and have winches and chains and anything else that's required to help recover if the event that we slide off the road or into a ditch or something. It's easier to get back on and get back going again.
RCW has a ride request form, but because of the amount of responses, they've had to temporarily close it. And even for those who did fill out the form,
right now, even though we are booked up, it's not for long. We're just making sure that the people that have already signed up are going to get their rides that they need and are safe and able to get to work on time.
In an effort to be prepared for the storm, Kenesha and I found it necessary to have a little bit of a show and tell. Things that you should have in your car. And I wanted to start, I wanted to start with the snow brush. Now this is an expansive snow brush. This could clean a semi. But
it's pretty big.
It is. It's impressive. But what folks need to remember is not only your windshield, obviously, but the hood of your car and the roof of your car.
Yes.
So that the snow then does not blow off. We have some other items.
Yes, and the snow and the ice, they can be hard to get off, so that's why you have the scraper. But we also have a blanket. We brought a blanket too. You want to make sure that you stay warm with this blanket. Where is it? There it is. Yes. Stay warm. Have your mittens, your gloves, dress appropriately. We have a first aid kit. Now, we do want to remind you that you shouldn't be on the road. The goal is to not be on the road, but if you happen to be, we want to make sure you have all of this.
Yeah, also have some snacks, maybe a battery backup, a way to charge your phone if it were to go dead.
The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is asking for help to find out who shot an American bald eagle in Lawrence County. The service sharing that a mature bald eagle was found dead early last month. An X-ray revealed several shotgun pellets in the bird's body. Bald eagles are protected by federal laws. The person responsible for killing the bird can face penalties including up to $100,000 and up to a year in prison. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is offering a reward of up to $2,500 for information that leads to a conviction. Anyone with any information is asked to report it to 601-331-0292. Tonight, a community comes together with hopes to bring a Huntsville man home. Ronald Dumas Jr. has been missing for 3 weeks almost. And tonight, family and community gathered for a candlelight vigil at Big Spring Park. Dumas hasn't been seen or heard from since December 15th. His black 2021 Hyundai Palisade was discovered abandoned the following morning on I-40 near Waverly, Tennessee. The last known location of his phone, according to records, was in Jackson, Tennessee. Here's a listen to Dumas's loved ones.
I was devastated. It was one of those situations where it actually didn't seem real at first. It was like he's gone for a day, he's gone for 2 days, he's gone for 3 days. Okay, 4 days, 5 days. Now we on what, day 19 right now?
The last time family heard from Ronald Dumas Jr. was on December 15th. They believe he was socializing with other people that evening, but since then, they've heard nothing. They're hoping that tonight's vigil will bring comfort to those who know him and make others aware that he is still missing. The family just wants answers.
We all exerted as much patience as possible, but we just need to find some answers. That's all. We just want him to come home, to be found, or whatever the case may be.
They say Ronald is supported no matter what has happened.
Ronnie does have support and people that love him, around him. Just seeing the type of people that he brought out, so many different people, so many different backgrounds. Ronnie was loved and is loved.
Right now, family and friends are just asking a simple question: what happened to Ronald? Their goal, to bring him home.
This is unlike him and out of his character to just up and leave, and then we have no reason for him to go in that direction. We have friends in Memphis, but like I say, it's only one friend, and that friend, he would probably let them know he was on his way. And that friend said they didn't heard anything from him.
And family members want Ronald to come home, even if he is able to do so.
I love you, man. Come on home. The kids miss you. The family in Chicago miss you, man. I want to give you a big hug, man, and talk about all the things we talk about, like college football, Jay-Z, everything, man. Real estate and all our plans and goals, brother.
Well, we have more information on the case and information on a reward being offered that may lead to his whereabouts. For all of this, visit our website on fox54.com. Huntsville Hospital is expanding, and with some temporary changes to how you get inside. The entrance to the emergency room at Huntsville Hospital will be moving temporarily. It starts January 11th. Instead of being located on Madison Street, people are asked to prepare to enter at Gallatin Street, where visitor parking is located. The temporary change is to allow for an expansion that will add more rooms for patients.
There will be 120 brand new private beds. We'll net only 100 beds because we lose about 4 each floor for easement, so 100 new net beds for our hospital system. And they're universal beds, meaning we can change them to anything, but it'll start out with a new cardiovascular ICU, a brand new neuroscience center of excellence.
Signs are in place to help you find the right spot. Again, the temporary entrance will start January 11th. An abrupt closing of a popular Huntsville restaurant has left employees looking for answers, and in some cases, money they say they are owed. Workers at the Tailgaters restaurant have taken to social media, frustrated by the lack of a response. According to a sign posted at the restaurant, a gas leak prompted the closure. But Arkin McCoy spoke with an employee who says that isn't the case.
Frustration is what employees of Tailgaters Huntsville are feeling after not receiving pay after an abrupt closing. One employee tells us this isn't the first time paychecks have been an issue.
We would have grievances about our checks being bounced a lot. We would lose money, and then we'd have a card fee for going in the negatives. And we never got compensated for those card fees. We would ask, but they declined. But we would get our checks rewritten when we brought it up with them.
But on Monday, Tailgaters Huntsville closed its doors without notice.
It was around 11, and the two girls working texted and was like, well, Tailgaters just got closed down. A bunch of police officers just came in. The owner, Randy, came up, and he was getting questions asked, and everyone had to get sent home. It was shut down that day.
An alleged gas leak was said to be the cause of the closing, but this employee isn't buying the explanation.
There was absolutely no gas leak. I don't know exactly. There was rumors that were started. I believe that the owners were just trying to help their reputation because they knew that if the truth got out about what actually happened for them to close, that they wouldn't be in business anymore.
And now pay again has become an issue. Tips are how many in the service industry make a living, and she's concerned that when they are paid, they won't get their fair amount.
A lot of the girls are concerned that they stole our tip money because we get tips, obviously, as waitresses, and we haven't gotten any of that money, and that's like our money, you know? So we're like, yeah, we feel entitled to that money, and we're really concerned about where that money went.
We've reached out to ownership and are awaiting a response.
Today, I spoke with the owner, Randy Helton, about these claims. He shared that it was legal reasons that caused tailgaters to close so quickly. He added that he spoke to the employees on Friday and assured them that their concerns will be addressed within the next week. Hilton says he has always made himself available to all his employees and calls the allegations an unfair attack. And as far as other allegations made against him, Hilton says he's waiting to clear some legal matters before making a formal statement.
A pet parent grieving, and now she says she's suing Decatur Animal Services. It's after her dog died in the agency's care. The dog hit by a car last week, and tonight it was the topic of discussion during a Decatur City Council meeting. Our Gabe Glassman takes us to City Hall.
If you know me and you know Sophia, then you're supportive. If you don't, then you just haven't met us yet.
Allison Howard, at Monday's Decatur City Council meeting, she was the loving parent of 12-year-old Sophia. Decatur Animal Services say Sophia was hit by a car on New Year's Day. The owner couldn't be located at the time, and Sophia was taken to the animal shelter where she died. Howard with one clear message about her dog: treatment delayed is treatment denied.
I don't think anybody deserves to suffer in the manner of which the dog did.
Councilman Hunter Pepper, who oversees Decatur Animal Services, has been involved in the ongoing process, and many question marks are still in the air. One of which, how did the dog escape?
I'm not going to say that this is the owner's fault. I am going to say that in the future, I'm asking everybody to keep an eye on their pet so this doesn't happen to anybody else in the future.
Another blank yet to be filled in. Why did the on-call veterinarian not come in to treat Sophia properly and monitor her?
As far as I've been made aware of, the dog did not receive an actual physical examination from a vet. That is not okay. That is not okay, and that will never be okay.
Until we get that for Sophia and we can figure out exactly what happened in those overnight hours, we won't rest.
The investigation for Decatur Animal Services and veterinarian Dr. Osborne is underway.
If Dr. Osborne neglected to come and see the dog, or neglected to offer to bring the dog in, or neglected to recommend or refer the dog to an emergency veterinarian or something along those lines, I do believe something needs to occur, including possible termination of their contract.
While protocol may have been followed, both Howard and Pepper say not enough was done to save the Pekingese puppy.
I can only imagine what a 3,000, 4,000 pound car would do to a 12-pound dog.
I want to ensure that anyone else that has a Sophia of their own never has to suffer the way that we've suffered.
Hunter Pepper says he's been in contact with other Decatur officials about attempting to change policy to allow for nighttime pickup for animals. From Decatur, Gabe Glassman, Fox 54 News.
The investigation is ongoing and will continue to follow and have updates for you on fox54.com.
National finals, but it's not just for any sport. This is the rodeo. It's taking place tonight at the Alabama A&M Agribition Center, where 15 contestants will be riding, roping, and racing their way to a $200,000 cash prize. That prize is part of a year-long competition hosted by the National Cowboy Pro Rodeo Association, which ranges from Louisiana all the way to North Carolina. One contestant, Kate Island, explains how she competes to win it all.
We back our horses into the box, and then when we nod our head, we try to catch the calf as fast as possible. As long as it's clean around the neck, we call it bell collar. That's as legal as it can get. It's just one of those things where it pops off as fast as it can.
And it's not all national. This rodeo helps out local livestock farmers who do this work every day. A member of the audience, Tim Durham, says the rodeo is important because it keeps an American heritage alive.
We need to remember who feeds us. We need to remember what it takes to get that done and what these cowboys and what these people do in order to take care of the animals and the produce and everything that feeds us. These cowboys don't just do it on the weekends. Most of them, that's how they grew up. It's a lifestyle. It's something they know, and there's a lot of pride in that. You know, a lot of people don't get out in the yard and throw a football every single day. But these guys out here, they get out there and they cowboy every day.
And you don't play the rodeo like you play most sports. Not only does it take daily practice, but it could kill you too.
It is dangerous. It's bull riding, the most dangerous 8 seconds in the world, in my thoughts of it. It's just like football players or baseball players. You're born to do it, you know, it's what you do.
Even when you're born to do it, announcer Jamie Osbrink says you may not even see the light at the end of the tunnel.
There's no guarantees for these cowboys. They could enter up their money and go home with just a round of applause from these great crowds that have been coming each and every single night.
In this arena, the only thing higher than the stakes are the clouds of dust. In Huntsville, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News. The Guntersville High School opened its doors to the public today for a first look inside the new school. Over 800 people showed up to take a tour and sit in on the grand opening. There was a ribbon cutting and a ceremony, and state officials showed up to congratulate the Guntersville City School District on the moment they say has been coming for 20 years.
This has been a long time coming. A lot of people have hoped for it, dreamed of it, desired it, and we're so grateful that today we're actually delivering on this package. The process has been so great. 2 years and 1 day ago, we had our groundbreaking ceremony.
And since then, contractors have been working hard to get the building ready to go for this school year, and they got it done just in time for the new semester. The new school here is over 140,000 square feet, full of classrooms, an auditorium, STEM labs, a career readiness center, and a media center. They started designing all this in 2019, began construction in 2023, and they're still adding on.
The old high school is in some places 15 feet from our construction site. And so when you take a facility that you're building 140,000 square feet, 15 feet from an existing campus where learning is still taking place and has students and is an active campus, that is no small feat.
It wasn't easy or quick, and there were some bumps along the road, but Principal Vaughn Enlow says it's all for the kids.
We want to do the very best in everything that we do for our kids. They deserve the best, and I think we've provided that for them now. When they leave here, are ready to excel in the world, whether it's in the workforce or in college or whatever.
The original high school was built over 50 years ago in the 1970s. By summer of next year, it should be demolished and replaced with athletic facilities and more classrooms. In Guntersville, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
The spring semester starts on Tuesday, and work is already starting on the extra renovations.
A former Decatur police officer charged with the murder of a Decatur resident now seeking a self-defense immunity hearing. Mac Marquette and other officers responded to Steve Perkins' home in September of 2023. It was in response to a truck towing dispute. During that call, Marquette shot and killed Perkins. On Tuesday, attorneys filed to request an immunity hearing under the state's Stand Your Ground law. They argue that Marquette acted in self-defense during the shooting that occurred in Perkins' front yard while Perkins' car was being repossessed. The motion argues that Marquette acted within Alabama law, which states individuals do not have to retreat when facing a threat in a place where they are lawfully present. Marquette is scheduled for trial on April 7th. Animal advocacy groups are looking to leave a mark in 2025. One in Huntsville has been trying to work with city officials to implement more guidelines for pet owners in the Rocket City. Our Gabe Glassman takes us to John Meredith's January forum, where animal protection was the topic of discussion.
We have to remember that we work at the will of and the direction of our communities. So if we don't hear from them, we don't know exactly what their expectations are.
Huntsville Animal Services Director John Fisher is ready to answer to any comments or concerns coming from animal advocates in the Rocket City this afternoon.
We're going to talk about the expectations from our community, how we can partner with our community to help animals and those people that are helping animals.
This includes No Kill Huntsville.
No kill does not mean you don't euthanize any animals. What it means is you don't euthanize healthy, treatable animals.
Karen Borden tells me this advocacy group started in 2012, and euthanizations in Huntsville have been up and down.
They've gone up considerably in their live release rate, but it started dropping off again in 2021.
She says when the group was formed in 2012, the live release rate was 44% for dogs and 12% for cats. In 2021, those numbers jumped to more than 90% for both of those groups. But in the last few years, before Fisher was appointed,
they were euthanizing 1 in every 4 dogs.
They're also looking to add a piece of legislation for the city to help protect pets.
We're trying to get the council to adapt what's called the HAPA, H-A-P-A, which is the Huntsville Animal Protection Act.
This ordinance establishes when euthanasia should be administered to an animal. It also keeps the city accountable for taking care of their 4-legged friends.
HAPA is to make sure that any abuse cases or neglect cases in the city are actually responded to and they are able to confiscate the animals.
Fisher says all reports of animal abuse are taken seriously at Huntsville Animal Services.
No matter what you see, let us know. We can investigate that. We want to establish Huntsville as a safe community for people and for pets, and the first step is calling us and letting us know.
No Kill Huntsville has a wish list of things they would like to see implemented to help pets. Those items can be found on our website. In Huntsville, Gabe Glassman, Fox 54 News.
Borden says No Kill Alabama's goal for 2025 is to have things in place for the Huntsville Animal Protection Act. Back here in the Tennessee Valley, Madison County, in the planning stages of building a new courthouse. Today, interviews were held with companies that could potentially represent the county during the construction phase. Candidates responded to a request for proposal put out by the Madison County Commission. Each candidate were graded based on a scoring system set by the commission, and 5 were then selected for an interview. Commission Chairman Mac McCutcheon shares the process has been a learning experience.
We're looking at the phases that they would be involved in. Will they be with us from start to finish? Will we have representatives that will be willing to meet with us on a regular basis during the course of the project itself? Are they looking out for the construction and the cost? Someone who can help us manage that construction and cost, because this is a major building project here.
The county is currently working on a feasibility study for the new courthouse that should be completed by March.
I received from a local citizen a petition that lists almost 35 names of people who are against renewing the business license for Pathway.
You just heard it there. During Tuesday's City Council meeting, the Owens Crossroads City Council discussed the future of Pathway of Madison County, a facility for troubled teens. The city clerk presented a memo approved by the city's attorneys recommending that the facility's business license not be renewed for another year. 4 council members supported the recommendation, while 1 member abstained from voting. Pathway of Madison County was set to close in October following a riot in September in which 6 teens were arrested. The city council discussion follows the city's order for the psychiatric facility to shut down. It's important to note that this poll is not a final decision on the license renewal. Instead, it marks the beginning of a formal process that will include a due process hearing for the facility.
One of the hottest jobs during the offseason for the Southwestern Athletic Conference was the head football coach of Alabama A&M. Dr. Paul A. Bryan, along with Dr. Daniel K. Webbs, received hundreds of applications of guys who wanted to be the next head man right here on the Hill. Well, after that lengthy process, the Alabama A&M administration decided to go with a guy who is very familiar with the state and also brings a lot of shade.
Please join me in welcoming our next coach, Coach Sam Shade. It was a long 30 days, but I'm glad that it's over. We got our best person for Alabama A&M, and I'm so happy it's over, and I'm looking forward to all the things that he's going to bring to the Hill.
With the hiring of Sam Shade, Dr. Paul Bryan and his staff are getting perhaps the best coach available who checked off all of their boxes. Shade is well known across the state, playing in Alabama and then taking his talents to the NFL for 8 seasons, playing for the Cincinnati Bengals and Washington Redskins. After that, he returned to coach on the high school and later college ranks. According to Dr. Bryant, Coach Shade's qualifications put him in a space that many others could not reach in their hiring process.
When we talk about those 6 boxes that he needed to check, he superseded them, and so that was something that really had stood out for him. And one of the things that we said, okay, well, not only does he check the box, he goes above and beyond, and this is the right man for us.
A native of Birmingham, understands what it will take to elevate the play of the Bulldog football team right here on the Hill. He also understands which games he needs to specifically win to have a chance of capturing a championship.
I talked about some of those goals already. That game that we're going to play down in Legion Field in Birmingham, the SWAC East, the SWAC Championship, the Celebration Bowl. That's the goal, and you got to put the work in. in order to get there.
Coach Shade is already working hard to make things great here on the Hill. At the moment, he's putting together a great staff. He'll have player evaluation for the returning players here on the Bulldog team. And then after that, the squad will get ready for spring football.
Good evening and welcome into Sports. That's Simon Williams. I'm Nick Kuzma. Sam Shade has been hired as the 22nd head coach in the history of Alabama A&M football. Shade coming from Miles College, where he led the Golden Bears to an SAIC conference championship just a couple months ago. Simon, it's a big day on the Hill.
It is, because this program wants to take that next step. They want to contend for the SWAC division, SWAC conference, and overall Black College national championship, and they want to do so with a very specific kind of coach. 6 qualities for their respective head coach, and Sam Shade has hit every single mark.
Played in college, played professionally, coached in high school and college, HBCU coaching experience, and the ability to recruit in Alabama. Sam Shade checks all those boxes.
And every person we talk to here at this event, whether it's his former classmates at the University of Alabama, it's his former students in high school, athletic peers in the business, as well as Alabama A&M alumni and administration, they couldn't be more excited for this hire.
Yep, so let's hear from 2 people. One who has connection to Sam Shade through playing together in college, and another with connection to the university and Fox 54.
Sam, he was one of those guys that you respected, even though he was 1 year older than me. I respect him because when he talked, he meant business. He's not a lot of flip-flop, and everything he does is serious. He'll do a good job here. He did a good job at Miles. He did a good job in high school where he was at. So A&M was getting a very, very special person, and he was just a great guy.
Immediate reaction when Sam Shade was hired. What'd you think?
Touchdown Bulldogs. Great job to get Coach Shade here, coming from a Division II program, so you give a person an opportunity to grow. But for the Hill, we get a hometown person, I'll say home state person, someone who knows it. He just said he went to a whole bunch of Magic City Classics. He understands the culture. That's what's more important than anything else.
He's a man of faith. You know what I'm saying? And he cares about kids. He's not going to be the one who talk a lot about things he's not going to do. He going to do what he say he's going to do. He's going to be honest with you. He's going to be upfront, and that's what you need to coach college football.
Dr. Bryant said he wanted someone that would reach out to the community. And in a football state like Alabama, we want to hear more coach speak, if you will. Someone made the comment to me the other day that when you go to these camps, the kids want to be coached, and they want to be coached by the person whose name is on the camp. It's that experience. A lot of coaches have come to Alabama A&M over the years, and I've heard it when they've gotten off the bus playing high school games. Oh, man, this is a marvelous stadium. So that awe has to be extended throughout the state of Alabama, and Coach Shade's going to do that for us.
Guys, I've been knowing Coach Sam Shade for a number of years, and honestly, I feel that Alabama A&M hit a home run with this hire, primarily because he preaches discipline, he knows the game of football, and at the end of the day, he just wants to be a winner at a new place because he's been winners at a previous place, no matter if it's on the pro, the high school, or the collegiate level. Those are my thoughts. What are y'all's?
I think, Mo, first of all, I got to give you props, because the very first day I saw you, after it was announced that Connell Maynard was not returning to Alabama A&M, you said Sam Shade's the #1 guy. So props to you. You were correct on that. I think my takeaways, #1, just the boldness in Sam Shade, the seriousness, and the fact that right away he was talking about his goals. He wants to win a division. He wants to win a SWAC championship, win the Celebration Bowl. And also, he didn't shy away from it. He leaned into, you got to win the Magic City Classic as the head coach of the Bulldogs.
Especially with him being a Birmingham native. The work is already in progress with Coach Shade as he puts together a great staff and then evaluates the players he has on the Hill. Simon, what are your thoughts?
Well, to that point about what the expectation is for this program, Coach Shade spoke third. President Daniel Wims, followed by Athletic Director Paul Bryant. They spoke first. And both of those guys said, if not verbatim, the same point of, we want to win the division, we want to win the league, we want to host the championship game here, and we want to go to the Black College Football National Championship game at the Celebration Bowl. So the expectation is university-wide. There is alignment among leadership on athletics front, at least here at A&M. And Sam Shade fits the profile of a coach that they would want, and certainly wants to live up to that expectation himself.
Absolutely. And, of course, we will talk to Coach Sam Shade many times right here on Fox 54. Probably the next time we'll talk to him is whenever they release the schedule, which will be coming up very, very soon. After that, it's spring football, and then the 2025 season begins on the road against the University of Arkansas. Covering the Coach Sam Shade introductory press conference here on the Hill, that's Simon Williams. He's Nick Kuzma, and I'm Mo Carter. That'll wrap up things here.
This is a trailer for the film Tomatoes and Marigolds. And get this, it's a feature-length film written, produced, directed, and edited by students at James Clemens High School. The film follows the story of a young man who has fallen on hard times and makes some unlikely friendships along the way. Tonight is the screening for cast and crew. Tomorrow and Thursday, it's open to the public at Cineplanet 15 in Madison. Showtimes are at 6:30 p.m. and tickets are $5. From the looks of this trailer, it looks like a very well put together production and a good film. I'm impressed.
I'm impressed too, and it's cold outside, which means people have all the more reason to go watch what I'm sure will be a fantastic movie inside a warm, climate-controlled theater with warm, climate-controlled buttered popcorn.
Yeah.
Hey, show the students some love. They worked hard to put that thing together.
Oh, 100%. And I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic film.
Before we let you go, Miss Alabama became Miss America last night. Abby Stockard, a 22-year-old nursing student from Auburn University, made history when she was named Miss America 2025. This marks the 4th time a Miss Alabama has won the Miss America title since 2005, 20 years. The other finalists were Texas, Tennessee, Florida, and Ohio. Stockard will receive $50,000 in scholarship money and immediately start a year-long reign. Congratulations, what a way to represent Alabama.
That is very exciting, that Miss America Cup. Now, I don't know how this works. So does she now go on to compete in Miss Universe? Is that?
Yeah, from what I understand, yeah.
Oh, so that's how that works. Well, all right then. I don't know how to get her to win Miss Universe, but I think we need to start working on that.
Yes, major shout out to her. That's
exactly.
a good win. We'll bring you more about the impacts of the winter storm in North Alabama in next week's edition of the Week in Review. Until then, be sure to keep your Fox 54 mobile app handy for breaking news and weather information 24/7. For all of us at Fox 54 News, I'm Kenesha Dees. We'll see you next time.